How's it going, everybody? So, I'm back. I know it's been a while. Um, so, I posted on my Facebook that I'm kind of changing the format around a little bit for a while. So, what I wanted to try to start to do is not really gear my video channel more towards people who aren't trans, but mostly just to educate people on what it means to be transgender. And when I do this, it's not obviously set in stone. Like, this is my experience, it's my opinion. It's just things how I see it through my eyes and through my experiences. So just to kind of recap what's happened in the last few months, I've had my gender changed, so now I am legally male on my birth certificate and social security and my driver's license. Next stop is my passport, so that'll hopefully be coming in the next few months. Next biggest thing and what I'm going to be talking about in this video, I was approved for top surgery, so that will be happening next month on the 17th. So since I kind of was approved and have started talking about it, a lot of people have asked me, what the heck is top surgery? What does it entail, and what's kind of the recovery like? So that's going to be what I'm going to talk about in this video, and I'm going to try to keep it short because I know the rest of my videos on my channel aren't really long because I like to talk a lot. So when I say top surgery, that is basically where the procedure is where you remove your breasts. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. The procedure that I will be having done is called a double incision. And basically what they do is essentially like a double mastectomy for those who have breast cancer and have their breast removed. The only difference is after the breast tissue is removed, and the way that they do the skin and all of that, they shape it to give more of a masculine appearance of the chest, whereas with females they don't really do that. So while they after they take the breast tissue, after they take the skin and stuff, all the extra skin off, they also will be doing some mild, for my case it's just a little bit, it really depends on your body type, and how much fat you have underneath here in the underarms. So they'll also be doing some liposuction here and along this area, and that is to give more of that masculine looking chest. Along with that, obviously they're taking skin, they're taking tissue, they're doing all of that. Where do the nipples go? So that is another part of the procedure. It's called a free nipple graft. So they're actually going to remove the nipples off of my body, and then while they're off, they will also shape them to, because men typically have smaller nipples than females do. They'll shrink, cut around the areola. And all of that, and give more of a masculine looking nipple. After they're done with that, once they reshape them, they've cut all the tissue, the skin away, they get all of that situated, they then will place the nipples back on, basically a skin graft, to where they feel like it would be centered on both of the chest or breast, whatever. I don't have a problem saying breast. Men have breasts, everybody has breasts, so I just said breast like 7 times in the past 2 seconds. That's awesome. Complications for surgery. Obviously, you've got these scars here. So the scars, there's always a risk of them, reopening. There's a risk that they don't heal right. There's a risk of, you're not getting sensation back in that area. You can also get hematomas and all of that. With the nipples, there is a small chance that they will lose pigmentation, because they are kind of thicker than a regular skin graft where you would just take the very top layer of skin. It's going to be a little bit thicker, which you run more the risk of blood supply not coming back to that area. Also, just a general risk of being under anesthesia for the procedure, which is going to be a few hours. There's always complications with that. So after all of that's done, drains will be put in just to help with all of that, any excess fluids or anything coming out during the healing process. Those stay in for 3 to 4 days, and then those will come out. After that, it will be about 2 weeks of recovery. Because it's a little bit different than where you were like a breast augmentation, where they are cutting into muscle, they're putting that implant in. With this procedure, because it is mostly just, I mean, it's just skin and then the breast tissue being removed, the recovery period is a little bit shorter. However, there's still going to be, a restriction as far as what I can lift, what I can do, my range of motion, and all that. So I will be out of work at least a week. If I'm feeling okay and I feel like I'm all right, then I will go back to work after that, and then I'll have another week or so of not being able to lift more than 10 pounds. If I feel like I'm not able to go back to work after a week, then I take another week off just to recover. At that point, sutures come out and all that kind of fun stuff. I'm nervous. That was the next question I get is, are you excited? Like, what are you feeling? So, obviously, yeah, I'm very excited. Like, I have wanted these things off since I started growing them. But I feel like I'm at a point right now where, I have the means, the funds, a job that is very supportive of me, being out of work. But most importantly, my support system. So I have so many people here in my life, who have already said that they'll, drive me to the hospital, pick me up from the hospital, stay with me at the hospital, stay the night with me the first night when I get home, come over and hang out with me. My work wife is going to make a Facebook group for people at work, if they want to make food to bring over so I don't have to cook and have to worry about that. And it's just, that has been the coolest part, I think, of this whole thing is feeling like I'm not alone in this, because I'm really not. Even though I don't have family who is here, who is supportive, who even knows that I'm doing this. I haven't talked to Josh or my parents or my siblings since January. I mean, I still talk to Chris, but everybody else, I don't think they know unless somebody has told them, that I'm even having this done. They don't know that I've had my gender change. They don't know about any part of my transition. My extended family, they have been absolutely fantastic. They've been super supportive every step of the way. And I couldn't ask for a more supportive family. So I'm not going into this feeling like I am alone. I am going into this feeling like I'm completely surrounded by people who genuinely care for me and love me and are excited about this step of the journey. They're just as excited as I am. The more I've read about it, because obviously I don't do anything, on a whim, especially as something as serious as surgery, and being in transgender support groups for specifically top surgery and seeing, the progress pictures of people, seeing their attitude completely change, going from, being dysphoric about who they are and what they look like to, having this done, and then their confidence, is just skyrocketed. And that's what I'm looking forward to, is, being able to, be one step closer to feeling like I am in the right body. And, I'm just over the moon about it. Obviously I'm nervous because there's risks with everything. I don't know what this is going to entail. I've had sinus surgery before. I had my skin cancer removal stuff, and those were two different types of procedures. This is the first surgery I have had. I'll be having where it's a lot of body. Whereas with sinus surgery, like it's all up in here, like it's all kind of with the ear, nose, and throat stuff, like it's a little bit different than like a general kind of surgery. But the doctor that I'm using, Dr. Heppy, he is super awesome. His office staff have been really awesome. They've been very respectful. They haven't been, if they don't agree with it, they haven't shown any signs that they don't. From what I can tell, like they're very supportive and inclusive, and that's really awesome. So yeah, that is pretty much it for my first video, as far as with answering people's questions. So like I said in my Facebook post, like I really want to be open about what it means to be transgender and the things that people may not know or even think about, or whatever people might have questions about. That's what I want to answer. So if you have a question or a topic or whatever, like honestly let me know, and I'll discuss it. I am a private person when it comes to some things. So if it's something that I don't feel comfortable talking about, obviously, I'll let that person know, and probably talk to them in private, and not make a video about it. But for the most part, I'm pretty open about discussing parts of my transition and stuff, and kind of the things that go unseen, so to speak. So yeah, so I'll try to do at least a video a week. It just depends on how often people have stuff they want to talk about, and if I have stuff that comes up, comes to mind, then I'll definitely make a video as well about that. But I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what happens. It's 39 days away, and well, now it's 12:30, so it's 38 days away. I'm counting down. Fingers crossed. The 20th, I have my pre-op appointment, and that's when we'll go over what to do ahead of time, what to pack, what to expect at the hospital. I don't know if I'll have to stay the night or not. My surgery is pretty early in the morning, so it's 7:30. So hopefully I'll get to go home the same day, and be with my animals. But yeah, thank you everyone for your support. As always, I have to say that I am a truly blessed person. I started going back to church again and getting into religion and stuff, and well, not really religion, but just my spiritual journey with God. And I truly believe that He has placed me, in a very unique situation where I am able to be that voice for people who feel like they don't have one. With my past trauma, and then with me being a transgender man, having that voice encouraged to really speak out and share my truth. And there are times where I feel like maybe I'm oversharing, but at the same time, whatever I can do to help educate somebody else, to help open somebody else's mind, or to even just speak encouragement to somebody, or let somebody see who has gone through the same thing and is struggling, that they can get through it too. If I can do it, they can do it. And I truly believe that God has gifted me with this specific journey. It hasn't always been an easy road and an easy journey to walk, but He's equipped me, with the strength and resilience. And at times when I didn't have that, getting that supernatural help from Him to get through those times, and to come out of the other side and still have, a heart that loves people, a heart that genuinely cares for others, and who wants to see the good in everything. I truly believe that comes from Him, and it doesn't come from me by any means. I do have a very unique platform, to not only be a transgender man, but to be a Christian transgender man. There's not very many people who have that opportunity, or who have that story. And to show people in the LGBTQ community, that not all Christians are the way that they are portrayed. I just real quick, I'll share this, and then I'll wrap up. But I started going to a church, and I was in a small group for about 4 months, and it was called Freedom. And the things that I learned and the things that I walked through, I had no idea that I was still holding on to a lot of the spiritual and emotional baggage that I was. And I was able to go through that program, see where my part was, see where I needed to forgive, not for them, but for me, and to just let go of all of it. And when I did that, what was put in its place was peace and freedom, and relief, and growth. And I have become so much more confident in myself, which before then, I would always think of confidence as arrogance, or as just being cocky, because I've never been actually confident. I've always been the person that has struggled with confidence, and has had all this negative self-talk, and not believing in myself. That when I thought anything positive, I always thought, oh, well, you're just being really cocky and not confident at all. You're being arrogant. And to really understand and know that it's okay to be confident in yourself. It's okay to have positive thoughts about yourself. That's what you're supposed to do. And to be proud of the person that you have become, and you've been made to be. And just coming to that realization has been really awesome for me. And in letting go of all of that negative stuff and all of that baggage, I've been able to see the world in a new light and to be more open to things, and more open to God, and more open to the spiritual gifts that He has for me. And I went through group, and I was very, very nervous, because I had there was both female and male group leaders, and I would pray with the men every week, and I felt almost like, not a fraud, but I felt like if they only knew who I really was, they wouldn't be saying these things. They wouldn't be praying with me like this. They wouldn't be calling me a son of God. They would be forcing me to pray with the females, and I just kept that inside. And then at the end of our group, we had a conference, and God really laid that on my heart, to be honest with them about it, and I spoke to another close friend who goes to that church, and she and I had a conversation about it, and she was like, Ryan, if you really want to get the most out of your relationship with God and relationship with the people that you've met, you have to be honest, like honesty is one of the things that that you should live your life on, and you need to be an honest man. And I've always prided myself on being an honest man, and she was absolutely right. And so I told them, in a text message, I made this big long message to them, and I was like, look, this is who I am, this is my truth, this is how I feel, this is how God made me. I know God loves me the way that He made me. And I sent it, and I was very, very nervous, and the response I got was, yeah, we kind of figured it out. We were just waiting for you to tell us, and in our hearts and our minds, you truly are a son of God, and there's nothing that's going to change that, and they were like, who are we to say who God does and doesn't make, and to have that reassurance and to have that acceptance from somebody inside the church, somebody who I have come to respect and love so much, who spoke words of encouragement and wisdom into my life, to have that validated was amazing, and that just solidified my trust and my faith in God, and coming back to church, and now I'm an usher at the church, and I'm getting ready to get into another group to learn more about the Word and learn, and they both said, we see you as being a leader, not just in life in general, but in church, like being a spiritual leader, and that meant a lot. That really meant a lot that they see that in me, and so yeah, I'm really, really at a good place in my life, I know I joke about being single and everything, but honestly, I know that God's got somebody out there for me, and when that time comes and it's ready to happen and it's right and it's based on a good healthy foundation, I know that person is going to be the person that I was meant to be with, and they are going to absolutely be worth me going through what I've gone through, the experiences that I've had. Each relationship that I've had has taught me so much about love, about life, about myself, about what I will and won't accept in a relationship, and it'll happen when it's meant to happen, and in the meantime, I'm focused on myself, I'm focused on, the path that has been laid out before me, I'm focused on, being the man that I'm supposed to be and meant to be, and, whenever that happens, and our paths meet, I know it'll be when it's meant to happen, but, yeah, so, I'm gonna go, but thank you for listening to me, and like I said, if you have something that a question or whatever that you would like a little bit of clarification on or whatever, definitely let me know. Okay.